If you've got news, views or events you'd like to share with us and the Chat City team, why not give us an email? chatcity@preston.fm.
Now, I don't know if one of the things you could do if you went to Houghton Tower would be picking a chicken, but to tell us more, it's Elenor Faroni. So, Elenor, a very good morning.
Good morning.
And Houghton Tower, of course. For people who are not too sure where Houghton Tower is, I mean, I've been along a few times, beautiful place to visit. Just tell us where you're situated.
We are situated on the old Blackburn Road, so right in between Preston and Blackburn.
And Houghton Tower, I mean, it is a charity, isn't it? I
Yes,
think I'm right in saying.
Yep. We're a preservation trust, so we're open to the public, and all the income from everything we do goes straight back into the house to make sure that it will continue to live on beyond our generation.
Because I mean, it is a beautiful place, isn't it? And I mean, was it Charles Dickens who either wrote about or visited Houghton Tower? I think, as far as we know.
He did both. We believe he was on a walking trip between Preston and Blackburn during the Industrial Revolution, and he saw the house at the top of the hill, came up to visit, and actually the house was abandoned at that point in time, a bit dilapidated, and so he decided, he got inspired and wrote a little short story about it called George Silverman's Explanation, and that actually initiated the first restoration of the house, which took about 3 generations, and it's pretty much what you see today.
Right, and as I said, I've been along there a few times. It's a beautiful place to visit, beautiful countryside, but also a nice kind of family-friendly atmosphere to also encounter when you come along there.
Yeah, that is what we're definitely trying to do, and in fact we're open this week for some half-term activities. So today we've got some art workshops. With one of our guides. I think she's making bunting with the kids. And then on Friday we've got family-friendly tours, so kids can come along, get dressed up, and our guides will take them up on and around the house on a historical adventure.
And I think you also have your very own ghost that walks the corridors.
We've got a couple.
Is that right, too?
Depending on who you talk to, we might even have more. Very friendly, though, so not to worry.
Do we know anything about them? I mean, are they ex-residents of the tower?
Who knows, really? But there's somebody called Peter who lives in the East Wing, and he's a bit annoyed and angry, apparently.
Oh, dear.
And then we've got a little girl who speaks French and has blonde ringlets, and she follows the visitors around. And then we have the green lady who helps people sew.
Right.
If you have that sort of inclination.
Brilliant. And I understand that for anybody who missed it the first time round, that this weekend you've got the War of the Roses taking place.
We do indeed. We have a great group called Sir John Savile's Household. They come from Yorkshire, so the wrong side. But they're setting up camp with us from Friday night. And they'll be with us through Saturday and Sunday, doing all sorts of things, not just the typical battle scenes, although that will be a great part of it, but they are going to have displays of crafts. Children can try their hand at various craft activities, firing cannons. There's going to be dancing, acting, food preparation, all sorts of things. So a great day, 2 days out, I hope.
Yes, it sounds it. And of course, events are the lifeblood, aren't they, to keep the tower running, keep the house... Yeah,
our house tours, events in the ground, most of which we're doing with lots of great people from out of the area that will come in and help us set up the events, but also other things like weddings, private functions. So lots and lots of things.
And I take it, do you get lots of visitors from out of the county, people? Because, I mean, we are on the tourist route in this part of the country, so I would imagine you do get lots of visitors.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we'd like more.
Yes, yeah.
But we definitely get people, especially US, Australian, Canadians, so English-speaking, generally on their way up to the Lake District or to Scotland, or on the way back down.
So it is one of the parts then of running Houghton Tower to actually publicise the tower overseas. Are you able to do that, or again because of the costing, is that a problem?
It's one of the things we're prioritising at the moment. We also have a very active, especially in the US and to a degree in Australia, a group of Houghton ancestors. So they're quite active in spreading the word across the pond. But we want to really put ourselves on the map much more for people who come from outside the country. Because otherwise they all tend to go to the houses in the south.
Yes.
And then there's a big gap, and then they get to Scotland. So we need to bring them up this end.
Well, that's right. And of course, you are quite near to the motorway and the history of Houghton Tower. We've just said, from Charles Dickens to James the First in 1617. I mean, the history is certainly there. There's beautiful gardens also around the tower.
Yep.
So we've mentioned the events during the week and also the War of the Roses this weekend. Any other events coming up in the near future?
Oh, yes, we've got loads. Next weekend, so that's the 8th of June on the Sunday, we have the Northern Kite Group. And they are bringing some amazing kites with them. They're a volunteer group, and they have some of the biggest kites on display in the whole of the UK. So they'll be flying their kites over the tower, and at the same time we've got archery in the barn. Kids can make their own kites or bring their own kites, so it's going to be a really colourful day. And then in the house, obviously, we've got our normal house tours, but we've also got some Tudor musicians wandering around.
Wow.
So it's going to be a great day.
And times that you're open, what times can people come along?
In most cases, our standard opening hours are 11 till 5, but for the War of the Roses, it's 10 till 5, and for the kite days, it's 11 till 5.
And as we're saying, everyone that comes along, and in whatever way, it's keeping heritage alive for future generations.
It is indeed, yes.
And for anybody who wants the old sat-nav, have I got it right? It's PR5OSH.
That's correct, yep.
And lots of activities to take the children along, even on a day at the moment, although hopefully they're promising sunshine later in the day. I take it the activities on a day like this take place within the tower?
Yes, today they will be indoors, and we've got the fire on, so it's actually quite warm and cosy.
Wow, yes, it sounds it. Well, can I thank you for talking to us this morning?
No, thank you.
I'm sure
I see lots of people.
I'm sure we'll be talking again in the future.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you have any news or events you'd like to share with Hughie and our Chat City team, why not give us an email, chatcity@preston.fm.